the four pillars. This is the news manual, which I should share you at some point with you at some point. It must be new, okay? Number one. Number two, it is unusual. Huh? Then number three, it must be interesting or significant. Huh? Then it must be about people. Okay? So these are the four, according to the news manual, these are the four criteria. But there are several others like proximity, impact. So then they have blended them into the four. Okay? Okay. Then most science and technology will have human applications. So for every story, you must ask yourself, how will this affect my readers? As I said, so your job is to describe what those effects are. Right? So these four criteria will guide you. But is it new? Is it unusual, interesting, or significant? It's about human beings. Okay. Some science, like they say astronomy, like the sun of the stars and all those things. It has no impact on our everyday lives. But is interesting in what it tells us about our universe. The task here is to report it in an interesting and formative way. Muntu anapita ku Mars, stars yakuti mawala mwakuti. Okay? So what impact? There's no direct link with human being so far. But people are interested to see. If you say, that star, the name of that star is this. Some stars have names, isn't it? Do you know, by the way, that stars are also bigger than suns, than the sun? Eh?
I only know that they're important then.
Hmm?
I know that they are hot. That's what I feel.
But why don't we feel their heat?
From that I can't really answer that. It's an ongoing basis.
No. Those are also suns, but they are far, far away. Eh? Stars. Because of the distance. So they look just like their suns. It's too small, right? Otherwise, they are also suns. The sun is not only one, there are several suns. All those stars are suns. Okay. Yeah. Then you must always be accurate. Science is built on accuracy. Even journalism is also built on accuracy. So as I say, don't speculate. Don't write something you don't understand. Don't know it. Okay. And finally, your readers or listeners usually trust science. So often, in fields such as medicine, their lives may depend on it. When you're writing about issues of vaccines, you're encouraging people to go and take a vaccine like on cholera. Don't alarm people by making sensational claims which may not be true. Cholera, vaccine ya cholera imapa, it kills. You don't have not hearing, you're just hearing from people elsewhere. You can get all those facts from maybe research by science themselves, scientists themselves. Okay. Okay. We talked about the issues of basic reporting or the actual reporting. The approach is the same. The only difference is that it is the subject which is different. You should use the same techniques If you come say, I'm reporting about science and you think techniques are different, no. You should use same techniques for good journalism. We have discussed, or we have discussed in other classes before. So, reporting science and technology, you should remember the following. Number one, build up a basic knowledge. Build up basic knowledge. Okay. So what it means here, you know, science and the technology, it's a very huge field, eh? So each field has its own rules and guidance, which govern it. Each field. For example, the medicine part has its own rules, eh? Doesn't it have the same rules that govern astronomy or zoology? So you will have to try to understand the details of each field of science. Eh? Not because you understand how to report astronomy, then you can go and report well on engineering. No. Eh? So make sure that you are dealing with different rules here. Of course, as we said, you don't need to know all the ingredients. Eh? But you should know that what exactly works based on what they tell me, what I found out from elsewhere in that field. Okay? So, even what from the science we did in secondary school can help us understand these issues. It can give us enough knowledge on the basic rules to get started. You don't say you should learn science up to university level. No? What do you did in secondary school or high school can help you. Okay, so let's build up knowledge. Get it. Number two, read widely. Okay. So here, science and technology advance so quickly. So you must keep up to date. Read articles on science and technology. Read. You're not going to get knowledge anywhere. Read. Read books on basic science. Okay. You have heard about encyclopedias? So they're a good place to start. Okay? Encyclopedia. Good place to start. Avoid textbooks which are too complicated. Don't go there and create headache for yourself. Right? Read textbooks that are easy to understand. Instead, look for books which explain their subject in simple terms for ordinary people like journalists, non-scientific readers. Read science books, but for whose audience is a non-scientific audience. Ask people or the experts in each field for advice on the textbook for your needs. Something clear and simple. Yes? This applies to anything in journalism. Read. This will help you to give you the terminology, to understand the flow. If you don't read, you'll be static, you'll be stagnant. Your English will be made where it is. Your language, the understanding of it will be low. So read widely. Every day, have something to read. Okay. Then, make contacts. That's number 3. You have to make contacts. Okay. What do we mean here? It means you have to understand who are the scientists around here. In the animal world, in technology like the smartphones, So do not expect an expert in one field to be able to help in another. No. Somebody is a veterinary guy, you're asking about phones. Ah, eh? I'm a scientist. You can answer anything. No, no. Okay? You should know the field. So you can electrical engineer, for example, they're not may ask something about civil engineer. Eh? They may not know. Just people who can give you one, store ideas. Okay? As I said, journalists, you were asking where do I get the story? Huh? A journalist, where do I get the story? You must be moving with stories there. Eh? So when we disperse from this class, get somebody who can give you a story idea, somebody who can give you background information, okay, and the names of people you should ask for further details. Somebody gives you a story idea. Eh? What is a story idea, Mariam? Oh. Yeah? Yes, do you understand the story idea yourself? Why am I thinking about it?
So the story idea is like an idea that's coming from a certain topic that you might develop. That you might find it might be of interest to your targeted audience. So you should do better research on it, get more knowledge about it. It's like something that's prompting you to.
Yeah, sure, that's right. A tip, eh?
Yeah.
You have a tip, but I will require developing. So have those people can give you a tip, and they can also give you background to that tip. Yeah. Then if they can't give you the whole story, they can tell you who to talk to for further detail. Yeah. So try to establish at least one contact from each major scientific field, such as medicine. There should be somebody there. Environmental science, there must be somebody there. Agriculture and fishing, okay. Geology, engineering, and several others. So you can quote them in your stories. You don't write in your opinion, you're writing about what people say about something, isn't it? That's to make it, to give it metal, believability. Eh? So it's believed and it's compelling. You know, today there's a little trust about journalism. It's going down because they think journalists lie or create stories. So the only way to reclaim that trust is by writing stories that are credible, are factual. Don't rush your stories just because of deadlines. Make sure that the stories which cannot meet the wide standards of trustworthiness, set them aside, continue working. Go for stories that can help you meet the deadline. Eh? Yeah. Don't float that story at your editorial meeting or elsewhere. Say, I have a story idea, but you don't have details. Eh? And then when your editors ask, have you finished the story? You have no response. So, start a story where you think you know the contacts, where you know that you have the background information. Okay. So, some scientists are better at explaining their work in simple terms, where others are complicated. So don't forget, scientists often work in teams. So if one member cannot help, another might be able to. Okay? So technicians and laboratory assistants, for example, they can be a very good source of story ideas, but do not rely on them for the official version of the story. Okay, so that was about making contacts. Fourth one basic reporting should be building trust. Building trust. What we should know is that Many scientists do not trust journalists. No, they do not.
How's that?
They may not think you are capable of reporting their work properly, or they may have had a bad experience with journalists in the past. They may have been misquoted or seen errors in a story. Okay? Mm. This kind of writing, this kind of reporting, these people are incompetent. Eh? So they may not be interested. So you have to build that trust with them that you can do better work. Eh? Keep pushing. So you have to show that you can be trusted. So to help you, okay, do some background research of your own before interviewing them. Eh? So you can show you know the basic facts about that film. Really, don't just go there like I'm a journalist and listening just like a parrot. Yes, yes. And then you're asking questions, irrelevant questions. Eh? How old are you? Huh? Yes, how old am I? Eh? What does that have to do with developing a plane engine in Milan? Eh? Eh? What are your hobbies? Eh? Okay. How do you look at the current government? Huh? You're a scientist. Nah. Eh? So this is just an example. I'm trying to be extreme, but ask questions that you know you have done background to the subject. Okay. Again?
Shares the question.
You have a question? Yeah, please ask.
About technology,
Yeah.
you said we have an assignment about going of fields to ask. So it will just be a class presentation only, or because to have some possibility of doing it because more than
What do you mean? That would be an assignment. I'll mark it.
Oh,
Yes. That's assignment number 1. I'll mark that.
Okay, that
but not like we cannot be able like, to do something like have our platform after school so that we can be seen in the news because we don't have that much.
No, we look at how quality those stories are, isn't it?
Yeah.
First. Or we want it out to the platform writing stories here.
Yeah.
Ah. Wow. That's a different idea now, huh? But here, I want those stories first. We can talk about that later, okay? Yeah. But if you can write more stories, I'll ask you to be writing more of these stories, okay? I want to see the stories written, talk to real people in real time, okay? And then submit them to me.
So in science and technology, is it the same way, like as you said, it's the same way the reporting, yeah, in news.
Same.
Same.
Yes. That's why those are the steps, for example, we're discussing now here.
Yeah.
That first of all, you have to, the basic reporting, the basics of reporting for that, that's what we're discussing. Build up a basic knowledge, means you're going to be reading. That's okay? Yes. Basic knowledge, you need to understand the rules in the field. And you should understand what the fields, the various fields are in science and technology. They're not only one. Why not? Yes, if it is a hard news story, you can use the inverse pyramid. If it's a feature, you can follow the various feature shapes, like the hourglass if you want. You can the staccato lead with the one that starts with or maybe like a news feature. Okay? Yes. Okay? So, okay?
since it's an assignment,
Yes.
wanted to ask. So, is there a number of pages that we be expecting or maybe?
Just 1,000 words on. 1,000 words.
And are we going to provide maybe
No, you're a journalist, you're going to die to get those people.
Yeah, like in the assignment to prove that
Yes,
we need to.
you're going to quote them, yes.
So one of your men quoting those people, and also a background of what you have read.
No, no, no.
Uh,
This is for you, don't put it there. This is just.
We're just doing a research.
You're doing a research before you. I'm telling you how to do it first, isn't it?
Yeah.
Before you go to interview those people, you need to have basic knowledge of
what
what person, what field the person you will be talking to. One, okay? Okay, and then you have to read widely. Number two, okay? Number three, you have to have contacts, eh? More contacts than just person, eh?
of these people,
Yes. With who?
like of the people that you've been.
Yes. And then,
My question was, like, after we have come up with the idea, we have read now the story,
yeah.
are we going to put, like, let's say a page or half a page of the people that we might have as reference, like
If you, no problem, if you can do that one, no problem, it's fine. But I'm more interested in the story itself.
yeah, on that story, are we also going to be quoting those
Yes.
people and the books that we have read?
No, you're not going to. No. You don't. No. The format of story writing is not about quoting books. Story writing? No. Don't quote books. If the book is about involves a story, no problem. Otherwise, the story is about. Okay, if you can, as background, for example, in the story, you can mention books. No, isn't it? But we're not going to be making reference using APA in a story. That's not a new story. A new story is conversational, isn't it? You're telling somebody a story. Okay, it flows in the manner of the story writing. You have done story writing, isn't it? Haven't you read about news writing?
We might have.
Yeah.
Huh? Yes. And you too. This from yes. I've seen those things courses appear in third year, they're there, but news writing. Okay. So we're not teaching you news writing, but we want you to write about science and technology reporting. So you must be able to achieve that. Dig for the truth, that's another point, that's very important. After building trust, you have to dig for the truth.
Dig for the truth.
Yes, dig for the truth.
Dig your speak.
Dig for the truth. So being friendly does mean you have to believe everything a person says. You have a friend, they will be laughing, they'll be telling you everything, and you don't believe anything that's like that. So much of the science is built on experiments, okay, and on trial and error. I mean, in science, so whatever he tells me is right. No, that's science. Eh? So in many fields, a number of scientists, for example, may be working on the same topic and may reach different conclusions. Eh? So they're often trying to compete against each other to be the first with the result. Like I will always come back to the coronavirus results. There were scientists who were competing to always be the first. Eh? But they keep on improving on that. So they're often competing each other. So they may occasionally make big claims to show how important they are or to justify the money being spent on their research. Yeah. So be especially careful about scientists who say their work will benefit mankind. Achito zvinotopanga idzathandisa anthu kwambiri. Be cautious about such statements, okay? In many cases it will, but in others it may not. For example, scientists may tell that a new drug will help people to relax. But they will not tell you the side effects. Huh? Like maybe it may create the risk of getting cancer. Eh? Someone can learn to they only cure after curing. What are they doing in the body? Eh? So the side effects of science can be more damaging than the benefits from it. Ask them, okay, they'll help me. Any side effect? They will say, no. Find from other people. Okay? Find more. Is there any side effects? So you must question their claims by asking probing questions. Don't just listen and shake the head. No. Okay? So if you feel unhappy or uncomfortable about what you have been told, go to other experts in that field and ask for further information. Hey, what's I can do? Okay. Then you have to be skeptical. Eh? Skeptical. No, that's just one of it. That's another. Be skeptical. Eh? We'll come back to that. We'll come to that. Eh? So we know that journalists and science, or journalism, are based on skeptical and questioning. Skeptical and questioning what people say. Now, science, people don't say it means they are skeptical. Eh? Skeptical means doubting. Eh? Yes. So, you know the issue in the Bible of Galileo, who proved that the world was round by believing what most other scientists of his era were telling him. So Galileo was saying the world is that time, okay, the world is round, but he had to prove it. Okay. If you're not being skeptical, you cannot reveal issues of corruption in government. Well, those who can talk you into believing that whatever they're doing is correct. Eh? You may think, these people, they are intelligent. When you meet a minister, you meet a politician, you just be shaking head. And in the end, okay, you don't have transport. You think what he says transport, and this is January, he gives you 200,000. You even forget asking probing questions. Huh? It can be enjoyable, but just know that once you start doing that one, your profession is dead. It's good money. You think you're just a student here, and somebody has given you that 200,000 today. Don't know plans in They would story at Ravadibo. Only quoted that government is committed. Government is pleased to announce.
I have a question.
Yes.
Why did you say no to that? Like, and then you say no, but then they show that your life is now at risk of, say, from denying that amount of money. How, let's say you are in that position, how would you?
Those are the risks of journalism, eh?
Yes. So how would you get away with it?
Yeah, I don't think those risks of journalism must be fought from the journalistic point of view. Eh? Expose those ills by exposing them. Eh? You expose the ills of the society. Otherwise, if you keep quiet, you get the money, you may not expose. I mean, the role of journalists, as a journalist, a watchdog of society, is failing, is collapsing, it's no longer working. Okay? So, a journalist should expose any ills. Do you have transport? Yeah, I do have. Okay. I know I don't have. And I start budgeting for your weekend, for your I go and see this one. Mariam, do you also go to salon?
Hmm?
You go to salon? Okay. Salon.
So,
Yeah.
no.
Because you're always in hijab, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it would be a waste of time. What will you be doing? Eh? Huh? Yeah. Okay. You see that? Huh?
Yeah.
Mm. My daughters like putting on the hijab. So they're not Muslims. They're not, our three daughters, they all like putting.
Oh.
People think, yeah. Wow. Right. Okay, thank you. Let's continue. So, be skeptical. So, both science and journalism, like us, are based on being skeptical and questioning what people say. So, science and technology companies will offer you all sorts of free samples, advice, and even prepared news stories to promote their products. Eh? So they will disguise this by saying these are important medical breakthroughs. Okay? So always question their claims and always balance what they say by seeking and reporting opposing views. Hey, we journalism, you're not a public relations person. Always be skeptical. So drug manufacturers and such companies are increasing offering television journalists ready-made. Eh? Ready-made and professional packaged news reports of a new medical breakthrough or wonder drug. Yes, they will give you this right in advance. Use their public relations office. Okay, so they may be beneficial, but a good journalist, like a good scientist, must always ask hard questions and inform readers and listeners honestly and fairly. Do your own work, even use some of the video footage if it is relevant, then go out and get alternative views to balance or moderate the claims. Don't just take those materials and go writing. No. Okay. So that's about the basics, okay, of reporting. Science and technology. But then if you know those basics, now you are going to be gathering the news. Okay? So once you have established some basic knowledge and good contacts, which you're going to be doing for after this class, you can put them to work in reporting science and technology. That is, your task will not be too different from reporting the general news. It's not different at all. It's not the same. But there are some essential elements that you need to focus, to make attention on, if you are to report science and technology. Number one, when you are gathering the news on science and technology, number one, is it about people? Ask yourself. Why? Because people are looking for a human angle in your stories. The human angle can be about or any of the following, for example. I'll give you examples of when we say human angle. What we mean is the people who will be affected by the development, okay, like your readers or listeners. Okay. For example, if people ate bread and they decide that they are now have some disease, that's science and technology as well. Hey, food poisoning. The issues of cholera, what kind of water they are drinking. If people drink this kind of water, they result with this one. You are reporting science and technology. So it's I've seen this misconception here. When you see science and technologies in my life, for example, newspapers like they'll be putting phones, laptops, all the gadgets there. And when you talk about food, no, that's food and no. If this is science, what's the process of manufacturing bread in this Eh? Until upon we have heard about that one. Eh? UV, from, okay, health is a science. Okay. The handling of food, right? If they cheat you that this is halal, would you be happy if it's not? Would you be happy? Like, I'm a halal butcher here. But they put things that, right? Also, that one is also science, isn't it? The way the food is handled. Okay. So the people, that's so that people who be affected, you're writing that once this food is prepared, or this medicine, this phone, I remember phone, like you have cancer. Who said that? I've heard about those, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you have facts? No, I've just heard. For us, journalists don't take those things. True? You must have to prove them. Eh? And if you're asked to prove, you must prove them. Eh? Okay. Number two, the people who use the new developments directly will usually be interested in any new sources. So they might make interesting subjects for stories themselves. The farmers who use the new corn. Okay, so what do we say? Those who will be affected, now about those who will be interested. Yes? Okay. That's so the so how affected, number one, how interesting they are. And the other human interest part would be the scientists themselves or technologists responsible for the discovery and make interesting human interest. So you can find out what it means to discover that. Eh? Here we are given a warning, okay, after those areas about humanities. Because I've tried to do this one, you find sometimes you are struggling a lot to start with the human interest, the people, tell the story. But that do not bury the importance of a development beneath details of scientists who develop it. Let's say, don't try to emphasize on the developers other than the development. What is more important to receiving fertilizer farming other than the one who gives you the fertilizer? What's more important for farming? The product, isn't it? Yeah. It means not that you don't have to say thank you very much, but you don't have to be writing about thank you in your stories. Okay. So not bury the importance of development beneath details of scientists who developed it. By all means, explain about the scientists' search for a new drug to fight cancer. But remember that most of your readers or listeners will want to know about the drug itself and its possible effects on their lives, isn't it? Not who developed the drug. Okay. News gathering. Again, we move on to understanding the details. That's a news gathering. You must understand what you are told before you can write clear and accurately about it. Okay. You must understand what what you are told before you can write clearly. So, prepare for an interview. Before interviewing a scientist, make sure you know the basics of his or her field. Don't just go there. So, for example, a meteorologist, eh? You don't be happy if you think they look for meteors. eh? If you do not have information available, why not ask one of your contacts? Simply don't ask foolish questions. Yes. So we know that science can be very complicated to explain, to explore. So if you are not entirely clear, don't use the phone. The phone can be too complicated. Visit the site yourself and get them to sit down with you to explain the details until you understand. Be a learner. Today we're writing about people who understand things better than us. So you're writing for people who know the things better than you. But as I said, we are the middlemen, middlewomen for the community. From the science to the community. We should tell them the story in a simple form without varying or without simplifying or without watering down its importance. Okay? So it often helps if they show you the new chemical equipment, the plant or animal involved. Get them to draw diagrams. Ready? Because you're learning. Okay. So when you're back at your desk, writing the story, you discover that there is something you do not understand. Contact your scientist again. Don't say understand. No. And ask them to explain. You may find that they have forgotten to tell you or that your notes are incomplete or incorrect. Sometimes you can even show them the story. Is this the story going to be like this? I remember sometime when I was at near newsroom, when you say showing the story of the source, they were angry. But it's acceptable in complicated situations like this one. Especially about features. When you had news. When you write a feature and you're not sure about like this one, you can show, go back. This story, this is okay. So if you do this, you must make it clear that they are only being asked to check the facts. You must not allow them to dictate how you write the story. No. I just want you to check facts. There may be experts on the science or technology, but you must be the expert in what is newsworthy. Ready? As I was it, you should have said, no. Most of them will take advantage, they'll be doing that. So it will help if you explain your needs clear to your informants before you start interviewing. You can explain whether this will be a lengthy feature, a documentary, or just a short news item. In your case, you'll just be writing some between short news item and feature. There. You can write between somewhere 600 words to 1,000. Just erase it. It's fine. What I need is to see if you can get a story and produce it. Okay? So for example, you may interview a botanist. Do you know a botanist? Okay, for example, you can go at the botanic garden, isn't it? You know where it is. You can write a story about that one. Is this science? Okay. When you're gathering news, last week one, we talk about news sense. News sense. Yeah. So what we're saying is when you're talking to scientists. Yes, they are good in their field, very good, but they are not trained like what we are getting training here for, to recognize a news story. They are not. They may feel that their own work is not newsworthy, or they may disagree with you over what is the real news angle in their research. They may disagree. So you must always be on the lookout for news stories in everything you hear or read. I was well, as you're changing. No, they do not. That's not their strength. Okay, so you must always be on the lookout for news stories in everything you hear or read. Okay, perhaps a casual conversation with a visiting professor might give you an idea for a story. Perhaps you will find clues, whatever way you can find. Okay. So some scientists, don't worry, they may disagree with you, okay, about the news angle you are taking on the particular. So don't worry about that one. Always listen to the scientist's advice, but you cannot always follow it because your job is different from theirs. Try to convince the scientist to look at the story from the point of view of your readers or listeners, and they will usually cooperate. And that applies to any field. They should seek for facts, but not the way you have organized your story. Finally, we look at objectivity. When you're gathering news, objectivity. Like many things in life, science can have good and bad effects. Yes. So like many things, people will disagree about what these are. So your job as a journalist is to report the facts as known in a fair and honest way. Yeah. You should not take sides on issues unless you are writing a commentary, column, or your news. So this is especially important in conversation areas such as okay.